And we're live. It's the enormous Sibling podcast. We rebranded.
That's right.
We saw that there was another channel called The Jury House, and they're watching Big Brother 3 right now. I haven't watched any of their videos yet. So yeah, who knows? Pretty good season. Maybe I will check it out. Mr. stole our podcast name.
Stole our podcast name before we used it.
Yeah. But now we're Enormous Sibling, and we think that's pretty cool too.
That's right.
We have a lot of opinions about, and even some renominations that we have a lot of opinions about. Mm-hmm. So let's. Who do you want?
It's Keanu winning this HOH is so clutch. Like, it's crazy because this is the week that him or Kelly or Lauren just get picked off, or Vince, obviously, but obviously he's going to kind of do that. Mm-hmm. But one of those three get picked off so that Rachel can win more unanimously than she was going to anyways. And him winning this keeps the game interesting. So goddamn clutch.
I said last time this was one of my preferred wins because I don't want Keanu going anywhere. I don't want Rachel going anywhere. I still don't want Vince going anywhere, even though it's looking like that is certainly a good potential option that is going to happen. But still, if I can keep two of the three, I'm happy about it. And yeah, like you said, this was definitely a week Keanu was going to be in so much trouble if he did not win. So I'm happy he was able to pull that out.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I think, like, the dude knows how to play the game now. I think he makes a lot of mistakes. I think that his reads are often, that's not what he's good at. But I do think that he understands the setup of the house. I'll pull up this and I'll superimpose this on the video that I post to YouTube. But this is kind of the layout of the house now. The difference from what it happened last time, or from what it was last week, is that Rachel has moved back over this way, at least in my view. And Vince is the sole person in the middle now because Morgan and Mickey have moved that way. And though Morgan's still connected to Vince, she is on Rachel's side of the house now. And so when I was thinking about his nominations, I was thinking, okay, well, he's going to shoot that direction. I don't think he's going to take the shot at Rachel because I kind of think he's going into the house with 6 people on that, or at least 5 people. Rachel is the one that he wants in there out of anyone. So I figured he would put up some combo of Ava, Ashley, Will, Mickey, Morgan. I didn't think he was going to touch Vince. And then he tells Vince just straight up, like, yeah, I'm going to put you up. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out for him, but...
Yeah, I think just being straight up, I think is good. Even though, what's Vince going to do if you're not straight up with him? It's not like he has a leg to stand on if you try to pull anything on him.
Right.
But still, yeah, let him know that you're putting him up, I guess. But, like, he went as far as to say, like, if you go this week, I don't even really care. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I would go that far if I was Keanu. But I do think that I have a lot more respect for him this week just because in at least for sure in the prior week with Vince being HOH, Keanu is just giving into everything he's saying. He's making it seem to us, the audience, like he is just being fooled and is just going to keep trusting Vince over and over and over because he's not having cam talks and he's not really talking to any other people that is like really swaying my perception of him. And now that he's HOH and he's just telling Vince whatever the fuck he wants to tell Vince, I respect Keanu a lot more now. I know that he is not just going to trust Vince over and over and is going to let himself get played. He knows that he was having to like suck up to Vince. And now me as the audience gets to finally see that, and it's like, oh shit, you actually do know how to play. You actually do have thoughts. You actually are kind of trying to do things. You're not just a fucking dumbass. It's Vince alone in dumbass land right now.
No, and it's cool that he knows how to play the game now, especially considering that he obviously did not at the very beginning. And I mean, Taryn talks about it all the time. If you're on the block, you're forced to play the game, and you learn how to play the game real quick if that happens a lot really fast. Doesn't mean that he's good at the game. It does mean he knows how to play the game, which is more than, well, at this point, most people know how to play the game, but he was probably the last one to get there. I think this is probably, at least from a viewing perspective, trying to be neutral, I think this is the best HOH since Ava in that, like, yeah, take the shot that you are supposed, like, he is not playing scared. He is doing what he thinks he needs to do to win the game, and I really appreciate that. I think Rachel's HOH was fine too, but I kind of expected it from her. Yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he did some normal shit and didn't just fucking take. I mean, he might take out Vince, but if so, I mean, he doesn't have a great chance of winning in the first place. That wouldn't be good for him. I want it to happen because I think Vince deserves it after last week personally. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It would suck for sure if Vince went up. If he got Morgan to use the veto on Vince, I would consider him like the best player in the house, above Rachel included.
That would have been, that's like an all-time move. That's something I'm not sure we've ever seen. Like, no one convinced Tucker to do that. Tucker just did that because he's a dumbass.
And Marcellus too.
Well, right, and I was just going to say the only other person really you can compare that to is Marcellus. I guess Brendan did also use the veto on Rachel when they were both on the block, but it's different. It was in their second season where they were already like engaged. So it's like, it's not as surprising there. Yeah, almost doesn't count.
Yeah, that's just a relationship saving move. That's nothing. That's not a game move.
But yeah, no, same. I really, really wish that Morgan could have topped Zach for doing the dumbest thing of the whole season, because it would have just been so fucking hype. And for Morgan to use the veto on Vince, and for Morgan to most likely go home in that scenario, it would have been very poetic, very karmic.
Yeah.
And I think that's my only thing that I'm a Vince fan, so I hate that I'm going to be losing Vince. But also, I haven't talked about this a whole lot. Morgan is probably right behind Vince. Yeah. I actually really like Morgan in terms of a player. So if she's keeping herself safe, it makes me like her more. Vince can get out of here. He's been being a dumbass, and I'm just going to go pretty much all in on Morgan, I think.
That's like, so I mean, if you watched last week's episode, you might be surprised to hear me say this, but like, yeah, I think like, not counting Rachel because she's obviously good at the game, but like, I think Morgan is probably the best player in the house. Because I don't know, one, the way that she's been able to play the middle and jump back and forth, like, it is starting to look more and more like Dan. The way that she's been able to do that and stay, I mean, she's been on the block twice, but it's pretty impressive. I will say, like, I personally, the way that she is a person, it kind of rubs me the wrong way, and the way that she plays definitely rubs me the wrong way, but it's effective and she's good at it. And I think early on in the season, she was having these conversations with people and she would start talking about herself, or she would start being mean and kind of lose people, and that wasn't really working for her relationships, and she stopped doing that. Now, I mean, a lot of her relationships haven't had a lot of work done because she's been working on Vince exclusively, but I think what she's been able to do, I mean, obviously you win a veto and a lot of things look a whole lot better, but she's playing very well right now, I think, and like, she is probably my pick to make it, well, until Rachel picks her off at Final Four.
Yeah, she's someone I'll be rooting for. And I think to touch on something that you brought up a little bit earlier is I also thought the pool for Keanu's nominations, I did not really think, I thought maybe Morgan would be a part of it, but I also thought it was going to be more like Ava, Ashley, Mickey, as the initial noms, like maybe Will. I didn't really, and I don't know, Morgan was definitely a part of that. I'm not sure I really anticipated him putting up Vince, because I still thought Keanu was fully misted by Vince, and so it's refreshing. I'm glad that Vince is on the block. I was not expecting it coming into the week. Yeah,
I mean, it's an interesting move, and I think for sure, like, we say this all the time, but they see the house differently than we do, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to quantify certain things. This is one thing I'll say. So, yeah, I didn't think that Morgan is going on the block because I thought he would say, okay, well, Vince fucked me over, but I am still connected to him, and he's connected to Morgan, and I'm connected to Rachel, so those are the two who aren't going to go up from that side.
Yeah.
It was my thought, but this is, so reconsidering the diagram again, the way that this is set up, if Morgan was to leave, it flops everything around again. One, Keanu now takes Vince's spot in the middle because Vince is not connected to that side anymore.
Right.
Vince is 100% sold on Keanu. He can't flip against Keanu. These guys don't want to work with him without Morgan there. And if Morgan went out, it would have been great.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, and that's what it is. But he saw the game, and he picked out his target perfectly for him. That reinforces his allies, takes out a number from that side.
Yeah, him saying Morgan was his main target for the week and explaining why, it really helped sell me on Keanu being like an actual good player.
And at this point, I think it's kind of, I mean, I think Vince is the worst option to go home this week. It probably doesn't really impact his chances of winning that much because they're not very high in the first place. And then Mickey or Ashley, that's kind of sixes, right? It's a number from that side. Neither of them are specifically targeting him more than the other one. Mickey, Ashley, Ava are all similar things, I think, and Will, all similar types of people in his mind they're just on that side. Morgan has a connection to his friend that's ruining his game. So
yeah, it's weird because now the entire rest of the game for Keanu is going to be trying to take off numbers from that side without pissing off Rachel too much.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's going to be a really interesting end game for Keanu.
Well, and look, for Rachel, I've been saying this, like, she needs him there in the game because honestly, anyone from that side could go into the into the Dr. Will role right now where they're on this side, you guys have to take out all your people, so I'll sit next to them every single time that they want to go home. Mm-hmm. But also, Keanu can take out the people for Rachel, and then Rachel can win unanimously against him.
Right. I think, that's what Rachel, I don't know if she has been talking about this, but yeah, I think, like you've said, she has some trouble against some of the people on her side. I don't necessarily think that, but you have brought that up. And so if she thinks that's the case, yeah, Keanu is the perfect tool for her to be using to take those shots that she can't take herself.
Yeah. To be honest here, she probably just wins no matter what if she gets there. That's probably the truth of this all. But she definitely wins against Keanu, Vince, Lauren, and Kelly, just like overtly because they are on the other side and all of her side is going to vote for her. She probably wins against all these people too, but it could go in the jury house. They could go, oh, we're not going to vote for Yvette because these are people that they like.
Never know, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I do think Rachel's going to win. That's her, but I think against Keanu is what she should be trying to, because I think with the jury setup, that's her biggest margin of win.
Yeah.
You know? Should we talk about Rachel a little? I mean, I guess we kind of did. I said this is before nominations happened. I said she could go up. I don't really know where his head is. It wouldn't really make sense because she's so insulated, especially now that Kat left. It's like that's the thing with Ashley and Mickey. The only way that one of them goes home is if Vince isn't on the block, because the votes are just there now. There just aren't enough people on Keanu's side of the house, especially since he's HOH. You know?
Right. Yeah, and this is why I think, for sure they did that friendship move with getting Howie to take out one of his own numbers instead of, that's like what Vince did with Catherine last week. Like a member of that side of the house just is going to win now at this point, almost guaranteed.
Yeah, and Morgan is kind of like new Maggie, but she's a model, obviously. Okay, well, anyways, should we just keep on going to different characters?
Yeah. What do you have written down next? Do you have it like in an order to go through?
Just as they were on screen and I had thoughts about them, I started writing. So with Kelly, I said she made it to jury. Are you fucking kidding me? But
yeah,
clutch ass blockbuster win. You can't fucking deny it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that at least one of my jury picks, or at least one of my draft picks, is making it to jury. For a second, it looked like it might not happen. Vince has been trying to go home. Kelly has been trying to go home. Zach was the only person not actively trying to go home, and then at the last second decided to try to go home. By
his own volition.
Yeah.
He decided that.
It was really close to not happening for me, and who would have thought that Kelly over Vince or Zach would be my best performing draft pick?
So she has outlived her idol by 2 weeks now.
Yeah,
like guaranteed, because she's not going home this week. I think she's like almost tied for comp wins, or she has more blockbuster wins than he had. I don't know if she has more comp wins.
Yeah, well, all she has won are blockbusters, I think. So yeah, Tucker still won more competitions, but yeah, she beat him in specifically blockbusters.
I think Kelly does not win against a single other person in the house. I think Lauren beats her. I think Keanu beats her. I think Vince beats her. And then obviously anyone on that side beats her. I don't think she should win an HOH ever again, or ever at all in this time. People don't like her. Don't pop up. You don't need to put your head out there. Just keep on winning blockbusters and hang out there fomenting rage against Rachel. That's all she can do at this point, in my opinion. She's a farm girl. You know?
I kind of think she won't lose anything if she wins HOH, because, like you said, everybody already doesn't like her, so she can just take whatever shot at anybody that she wants to, and it's really not going to change anyone's perception of her, except Keanu. Keanu's the only person who even slightly likes her.
That's I guess more in the point. I mean, like, people might not take shots at her because they're so worried about getting each other out.
Yeah,
because
she doesn't need to put more of a target on herself, I guess.
Everyone would love to sit next to her in the final two, and so if she just doesn't piss anyone off too much,
she's getting second place.
Yeah, she'll probably just sit there, you know.
has a chance of beating in Final Two, like even Lauren? Do you think that there's an argument to be made?
Listen, we have like half the game to play still, so I think a lot goes into that. I think like there's a group. People don't really like Kelly in the house as a person, but like there is active propagandizing going on against Lauren from Morgan and Mickey, specifically Morgan. So definitely Morgan.
Rachel too now a little bit.
Yeah. So Lauren is not getting Morgan's vote. Rachel isn't like so as a being hating Lauren because of the whole Zach thing that maybe Rachel could, but yeah, she could beat Lauren. I mean, if Kelly goes on and fucking comps out, like fucking, she could beat a lot of people. I think, honestly, because I don't think people in this game are very smart or
I think she could get a vote from Keanu against a lot of other people, and I don't think.
I think she gets Keanu's vote, probably.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying Rachel will vote for Kelly, but I do think that if it's Kelly versus, like, Lauren, like, another person from that side of the house, Kelly having the comp wins is something that Rachel can say, like, if I don't want to vote for either of them, I'm at least going to give it to the person who won more competitions, because that's kind of just who Rachel is.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
I'm having a hard time thinking of why, like, Ava, Ashley, or Will would ever vote for Kelly again, even against Lauren or Keanu. I kind of don't see them doing that, to be honest.
I think that Kelly, from Rachel's side of the house, in general, they dislike Kelly the most, and they dislike Keanu a lot, but I think that he's made some strides with them. He's like, tried to be cool with Mickey, whereas like, I don't really think Kelly has even really tried. I don't know. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like, I don't know, Mickey also seems like the type of person to be mad that someone is trying to be her friend when she already doesn't like them. Like, she's the type of person to just like call them fake and like not be into this when it's like, they're just being friendly, man. Like,
and it's too bad too, because I mean, this whole game, Kelly's been a number for anyone, and Keanu picked her up. Yeah. It's like, you guys let Keanu pick her up? Like, I mean...
This is the same shit with MJ last season. Yeah. Like, except...
God, no.
Except with what happened then was the actual best player of the season picked up that piece. This time it's Keanu, who, you know, we have been kind of saying we have seen a lot of value in him this week, but prior to this week, he's no Chelsea. He's getting picked up by fucking Joseph Rodriguez from last season.
Dude, right. He's, yeah. God, dude, I'm envisioning now, I'm trying to think of who Kelly doesn't take to Final Two and instead takes Rachel and loses. I'm trying to think of who it is.
She just wants to do something cool, something that's never been done before.
Like doing the exact same thing that happened last season.
Yeah.
that would fit her. She did the Tucker thing, now she's got to do the MJ thing. Talking about Lauren, though, what I said about her is that Kat left. She needs to change her game. She hasn't. She just hasn't. Nothing has changed for her. She needs to, though. What I said is I think she needs to realize that she can't trust Vince and that her side of the house is getting broken down and she doesn't have the close relationship she had with Kat and Vince turned on her and Kat's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And she's only she's on the same side of the house with Keanu and Kelly, but they're going to take each other over her. I think she needs to find someone on that side of the house. Obviously, she's cool with Ava and she needs to build that. Probably she needs to work with Ashley because I don't really see her working with Mickey or with Morgan. And so because of that, she's got to make some connections over there. And it's not Rachel too. On that side, they all try to talk to Rachel. Like, there are other people over there you can pick up.
Yeah. So. I don't know how real it was from Ashley. I feel like it probably wasn't very real for her at all, but Lauren and Ashley did have that conversation about possibly putting some votes on Ava last week.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's impossible for Lauren to make some headway with Ashley or honestly with Ava. But yeah, she's just not trying. She is like trying to kind of talk to Rachel. Rachel's trying to tell Keanu to put Lauren up. So
it's like, stop talking to Rachel. She's not on your team.
Yeah.
Like, go pick some people who aren't specifically targeting you right now. The Ashley conversation last week where they got caught by Ava, like they were hanging out and talking for like kind of an extended period of time, and I haven't seen that. So that's kind of why I was thinking like that. And also this week, like, she's voting out Mickey. If it's Mickey and Ashley, she should use that. She should go up to Ashley and be like, I'm keeping you. And I mean, listen, just don't bring up Vince. You can say that you're not going to keep, or that you'll keep her over Vince, and then she's not there to prove you wrong. So whatever.
Exactly, dude. It's so frustrating how many people just don't realize that.
Like, you can lie if you're going to vote them out when you lie to them. Like, it's fine. But yeah,
unless they don't end up going out, that's when it's kind of an issue.
Yeah, right. But at that point, what can you do? That's or I mean, I guess just do
hope they don't compare notes.
Right,
is all.
But yeah, so Lauren, I think she just needs to find some more people and do some more. I just she's on the wrong side of the house. Kelly and Keanu is good for her to have that. She's got to have something. Keanu has Rachel. Kelly doesn't have anybody, but that's just how it's going to be. But she has Ava. I just think that she should now also try to get Ashley. That's my view on her way forward.
Wait, you think Kelly has Ava?
No. Lauren has Ava.
Okay.
Like they're cool. Now she should also try to get Ashley. Kelly doesn't have anyone. You have thoughts on Vince?
Yeah, I have thoughts on Vince. I think people are very hating Vince for doing the scumbag thing. I think this is the scumbag game, and I think I like seeing people do that. If he could have gotten Morgan to use the veto on him, or if Keanu could have gotten Morgan to use the veto on Vince, and Vince to just get rid of Morgan anyway, because who's going up, like Lauren or someone as a replacement? Which actually, who knows? Maybe he would keep Morgan over Lauren.
He would, because he's dumb. But yeah.
Yeah, and also, I don't know how much if you really want to go into this at all. I'm not sure how much I even really want to go into the Vince and Morgan scenario. I will just say, these aren't real people to me.
Right.
These are just people on my television screen. This is a show that I'm watching for my entertainment. And this is objectively one of the most entertaining things that could be happening. So I'm not really that pissed about it. I'm not going online thinking that either of them are bad people. I think for sure if you think about it in a real sense and you force yourself to do that, it is pretty fucked up. However, we all thought it was hype when Janelle broke up with her boyfriend in the diary room.
But listen, take it all the way and then it's sick.
Yeah, it's been a if we got something like that. But dude, that picture in our group chat where like, dude, the blanket is over them and like her legs have to be fully, completely around him for them to be that close. Like she is like straddling him.
Listen, my opinion is the same. Like, I'm not going to moralize about what they are and aren't doing. Kelsey probably doesn't exist, is my opinion.
She goes to a different school.
They're Italian. It doesn't count. But I just will say it's simply just uncomfortable for me to watch. I'm just sitting there just like hanging out and like these two people are like being like doing PDA in front of me. It's like I'm in high school, guy, and walking through the hallways, and they're just like all. It's like, oh my god!
It's like that couple making out in the stairwell, and you're just kind of like trying to go to class.
Yeah, it's like fuck, I'm just trying to watch you guys evict each other. You don't have to be doing this. And yeah, that's I'm not. Yeah, morally, whatever. They're Italian and a model, so it doesn't count. But yeah, it just is. I just don't like watching them whisper sweet nothings to each other. It just makes me.
In general, I think Vince, he's playing the real pathetic cry and beat yourself up and really talk down to yourself in front of other people to try to get the sympathy. Mm-hmm. It is a little hard to watch, but I know that he knows that that's hard to watch because like who wants to just watch another grown man cry and be very pathetic? It's uncomfortable. You want to do anything to get out of that situation. Unfortunately, Keanu is kind of reveling in it. He's not letting Vince get anything out of him.
And like I said this at the beginning of the season when Keanu called out Rachel for exaggerating something that Vince said. Vince did say it, but not to quite the extent that it was. And it's like that's got to feel so good. Is that a good gameplay move though? No, like calling people out is not good. Let them think that they tricked you and just don't be tricked by them and then get them.
Yes.
Which is kind of what he did by putting Vince up.
You want to have more information than they do, and if the only information that you can have that they don't is that you aren't actually tricked, but they think you are, it's something. For sure. Just let them keep thinking that if it's the wrong information, you have the right information. You can find something to do with it.
And that's, I mean, it's like, Ava should not have let them know that she was in the bed when she was listening to them. She should have just had that info and taken, but I mean, not that she did tell them, but like if she had the opportunity, she shouldn't have told them.
Right.
And it's difficult with Keanu because that's where he struggles is like, let people lie to you. It's fine. Just don't believe them. And he can't. And I bet you it feels so good to call out a 40-year-old woman for lying to you, but it does not help your game at all. So that's, yeah. Yeah, as far as Vince goes, he lost the game last week, and I think that he knows that. And like Keanu right now, if they can get out someone from that side of the house, it's not saving Vince. He already lost, and so he's almost in the same position as Kelly, but like he if he makes it to final two, has a slightly bigger chance because he did have some game that would be respected. But the numbers are done for him. He just can't do that. And yeah, so I don't really see him even winning anymore, and so it's kind of just, yeah. Now, I want him to go home this week because I think if you play to get into jury, you don't deserve to get into jury. That's my thing. Like, if you ruin your chance of winning the game just so you can make it one more week, I think get out of here, play to win, or don't play, But
yeah. I do still stand by. I think he's been a little too important to the season, the story of the season, where I would like him to at least just make jury. Preferably, who goes out this week? I mean, I guess Mickey, even though I feel like Mickey has been, she's been HOH, she's been part of a lot of the drama, but I would rather Ashley and Vince stay over Mickey at this point. And Morgan, too. If Morgan was still on the block, I definitely don't want Morgan to be going anywhere.
Yeah, but
ideally, we could have lost, Lauren this week, is probably what I would have liked the most.
Not me. No. Ideal situation is Ashley leaves this week. She, okay, I don't think that she's really done anything in the game to get as far as she did. She is like, Adrian, Jimmy, Amy could have been her. Zay, like she hasn't done anything to deserve to get this far, except for just had her allies win comps, so she didn't go up. But like she's been pissing them off. Also, she pissed off Will just this last week. Will is like cool with her, but like she up, she goes, and that's yeah. I don't think that she. I don't know. She says she's been acting dumb, so maybe she turns it on. But she's been like doing stuff still that pisses people off, and it's just not good gameplay.
Yeah, I think for sure she just doesn't have great conversations with people a lot of the time. I think she has a tendency to put her foot in her mouth and to kind of just sketch other people out. However, I do think that she has done more than Lauren.
Lauren won HOH. She won a veto.
Yeah, okay.
And used it on someone not herself.
I guess that's true. I don't necessarily think, come on, we don't value competition wins.
Yeah.
She won HOH. She did one of the worst things she could have done with it. She just let someone else run it the whole time, and she did not really have any of her own agency involved in that. The veto, same kind of thing. I think if all Vince had to do was just ask her once, will you please use this on me? And her mind was made up about that.
But rightfully so. That was the right move for her to make.
I think it was the right move for her to make, too. I just think, in general, I view Ashley as the smarter player, even though she hasn't done that much. I don't think Lauren has done that much either, and I don't think Lauren is a very, strong-willed player that really is, has a lot of agency and takes power and does what is good for her. Mm-hmm. I think I guess the veto is the best example where she did definitely do that under a lot of pressure from Rachel to not do that. Props to her. That I'm sure was very hard for Lauren to do, and it was the right decision for her to do. Mm-hmm. I still just view Ashley as being kind of the smarter player.
I'm definitely not disagreeing with you that she's the smarter player. I think what Ashley does is she has great reads on the house. She understands the layout of the house. She just cannot interact with the game in any way that doesn't actively harm her, every time. And I agree with you. Ashley is probably a better player. I think Lauren's been more involved with the season. If we were going on a ranking of who deserved to leave, Lauren deserved to leave the week after her HOH, and Jimmy deserved to not leave, right? And Adrian deserved to not. But Ashley also deserves to leave because she won a veto and then continued pissing everyone off and just kind of got lucky. So yeah, I would say for me, also Lauren is just a 22-year-old girl who doesn't really know what's going on. That's not that annoying to me. It's kind of just okay, she doesn't, whatever. Ashley annoys me, and so I am actively. That's my thing. Is and with Morgan, I respect her game. Ashley isn't really contributing that for me, so that's the difference.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I don't know. I think I could see Ashley turning on at a point where most of the other side of the house is gone. They have to like really kick the game into a different sort of level. I could see Ashley turning on, even not as a game player, if not as a game player, like at least as a personality on the show. I don't see getting anything more from Lauren than what she's already given, I guess is a good way for me to try to put this.
Yeah, maybe as far as like potential fun for the rest of the season, I agree with you on that. As far as like, I think Lauren deserves to be in the game more than Ashley does because she's contributed to the game and not like she has stayed off the block from relationships with people, not just from the HOH. Like she's been on the opposite side of the HOH and stayed off the. She hasn't even gone off once, right?
Ashley?
No, Lauren.
Lauren. Yeah.
Which like So I agree. I think the main thing is also this. I don't think Lauren is in like a false good position. I don't really think people like look at her game or her positioning and respect it. Whereas Ashley at least thinks she's in a good position. But I just think the first chance that she is up on the block, she goes home.
Yeah.
Or the first chance that she's up on the block and it's not the week before the people who need her vote in jury are deciding between her and Vince, I think she goes home. And I think Lauren has the ability to stay if she rallies votes, but she also goes home because she's on the wrong side of the house. So
yeah, I mean, luckily, if I have any luck, keep Keanu, Rachel, Vince, Lauren, and Morgan, and Ashley, and they all get to stay.
I think there's a lot of hate for Mickey on the feeds. On like the live feed threads. She personally just doesn't annoy me, and that's just how it is. Ashley is the type of person who annoys me. Mickey like does annoying things, but Morgan's the mean one, and she's just the sounding board, and then she doesn't know what to do. She goes around being mean. Anyway, she doesn't piss me off as much as the other two do. So that's I think a difference there is I would prefer Mickey staying for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird trying to form the thread in my head of why Mickey is. I think so. She's less, at least from like the feeds that I see and the discussions that I see. Mickey is not as involved in the game as Ashley is. Like Ashley is like very close with Rachel and is part of a lot of these game decisions, whereas Mickey isn't. And Lauren is just from the side of the house that I was initially rooting for. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's why Mickey is kind of like, of the three, is the one that I wouldn't mind leaving the most.
Yeah, and I think a big, kind of an interesting thing as you were saying that you have people in the house that you like. I don't. Yeah. So like definitely before Vince fucked himself over last week, I was more on your side with that too, where I was like, I want this season to go. At this point, I want everyone to go out of the house, and I want, like, if you are a good player, you have to prove it. I am fine with Morgan going on the block this week because she got off, and she didn't use the veto on the wrong person. And that's the thing. I'm fine with Vince being up there because if he's good enough, he'll get off. And he's against two people that I don't think it'd be very hard to get the house to flip on for sure. But if he doesn't get off, then that's just what that is. And that's why I thought that Rachel should go up 2 weeks ago. Not because I don't think she should win the game, but because she should have to prove that she's good at the game. Right. Which she did by not even going up, and that's all I'm asking for.
I think I've also reached a conclusion where, I'm also kind of at that point where I don't necessarily it's not that I don't like anybody, it's that I'm no longer really rooting for anybody. Vince lost me, and he was the only person that like really had me. I don't want to root for Rachel because I don't think she needs it.
Yeah.
But at this point, she's the only like actual kind of good player. Keanu is, doing some good shit. I think Morgan's really active.
Yeah.
So there are people that I can like kind of sort of root for, but it's being overshadowed by this. What is just going to be entertaining? It is a lot more of where my mindset is leaning towards now at this point in the game. I just want it to be entertaining. I'm so sure that Rachel is going to end up winning. Let's just have a good last 4 weeks of the show.
Yeah, we don't need to make it some like technical thing. Just it's actually going to be like a triple eviction and then 2 double evictions. So we'll be there. Just let her win HOH 4 times in 3 days.
Give her the Jag invisible HOH. She can do it multiple weeks in a row. Why the fuck?
She's gonna find a random idol hidden around the house and be like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
Okay. Who else have we? Ava.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what has Ava done this week? She's on the block, and I still don't.
No, she's not. Ava? She was on the block.
No. Oh, yeah. Well, she was one of the people Keanu was talking about putting up instead of Ashley, right? Yeah, she was a potential renom, and she still has not been very active on the feeds. Not that I really watch the feeds a whole lot, but whenever I do check on, I don't really see Ava too much. When I hop in the live feed threads, I don't see people talking about Ava too much. So I don't know what has she been up to much?
She does a whole lot of sleeping.
Yeah,
and then she puts on the coolest fit you've ever seen, and
that's not true.
Goes and sits outside and
Yeah.
hangs out. She have light game convos with people, but she doesn't really commit to it. But I mean, listen, this is the same thing as Will in a little bit. They're pretty much playing similar games where they're just likable people, and neither of them are too determined to win the game. And so I think they're just fine going out 6-5, and I think that's what she's primed to do, because she has the ability to do better things with her game, and she hasn't really. But she's had on the block last week, and there was a conversation about the flip on her that never ever was even. It's like the Morgan using the veto on Vince. It wasn't ever going to be real, but it was a had conversation. But she went on the block because Vince knew that Mickey would go home sitting next to her, right? So that's great positioning. It's not great win equity, but same with Will.
Yeah.
Great positioning. You would die for that positioning if you could also just feel like you might win some comps and maybe carry yourself, you know?
Dude, I don't know why I necessarily thought of this in this particular moment. Do we know what seasons Will shouted out preseason when they were talking about what seasons are your favorites or that you're really into? Because I have a feeling both of them are into seasons I remember 23. I feel like 23 was a season that did not have a lot of the gameplay was about positioning. It wasn't about win equity necessarily. There was a lot of people kind of just coasting to the end. There was Derek F and Azza and people that were kind of just there, not really gaming a whole lot, and the things that they did do were trying to insulate themselves, not trying to make game-winning moves.
Right.
So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the season that Will and Ava have seen, and they're oh, that's how you play the game. I just need to lay low and be funny like Derek F, and I'll get taken to Final 2, and that's good with me.
Which I mean, listen, I think Ava could do that. I don't think anyone.
I think an important part of assessing anything, if you're into music or film or whatever, is you need to kind of know what the intention was behind something, and you can judge it off that. And if Ava or Will's goal is just to get to Final 2 and make the second place money and just kind of have an easy summer job where you just hang out and make some money passively, then they're crushing it. I think they're doing a great job at that. I said the same thing with Kelly last week. If her goal is to just be stupid and have a bunch of screen time and use her power in the dumbest ways possible, she's doing a great fucking job.
A+. Yeah. And I think I always say this, the game is about self-awareness. And if Ava walks into that house and goes, I have a realistic shot of winning this game, that's not, she could, but it's not going to happen. Same with Will. And so, listen, if you come in here and you say, okay, the furthest I can get is probably Final 4, or I guess Final 2 as the GOAT, then that's your game. And that's, I was saying this all last year with Angela. She's not going to win. She has an opportunity to try to make it further than she did by playing the GOAT, but but you know what? They're not Morgan and Vince. They didn't have an opportunity to win, so they can do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And regardless, the stuff that they are playing right now, that Ava is invincible. She was put up on the block last week by the other side of the house because they knew that she wouldn't go home. That's great. That's cool. Who else?
You know who also won't go home?
Who?
Me, if you let me hit your vape.
Oh.
Ooh. That's called social game.
That's right. I think that's everyone. Unless we're missing people. 1, 2, 3.
We didn't really talk about Will. Well, we kind of talked about
9,
Will in tandem with Ava, but
yeah, I view their games as essentially similar. I don't think Will could fucking ruin everyone's games or ruin that entire side of the house games with the information that he has.
Yeah. If he woke up tomorrow, or dude, what if Will won the next HOH? Do you think he would do anything crazy? Do you think he would maybe try to throw like maybe now's the time to get rid of Ashley, especially if Mickey goes this week. Do you think maybe he's just like, all right, I'm gonna cut Ashley too. Let's see if I can get like Keanu and like say like Vince stays and like let me try to get like the boys back together. Do you think Will would do anything crazy if he had power? Is he like another Keanu like player where just because he hasn't been in that position, he's kind of just telling everybody what they want to hear and he's just hanging out and like maybe as soon as he has HOH, he'll fucking do something crazy.
Maybe. I mean, listen, once he's in jury, I feel like he's probably going to be like, I have nothing to fucking lose now. I don't think he would. I don't think he would because he's so well positioned. Like him, losing Mickey isn't a big deal for him, but losing Ashley would be, losing Ava would be. So probably not that, but maybe. But
it would be a bad move.
Yeah.
I just like speculating about things that could be hype.
Come on. Maybe he just wants to hang out with his bros too. He just wants to be like Keanu, you know? Well, yeah. This week has been very exciting on the feeds. Because Keanu is just the type of guy to make everyone really mad. I don't know. That's every time that they go to a room that he's not in, it's just the girls getting so mad at him and coming up with new ways to insult him, which... Yeah.
I kind of wish he had won HOH sooner, actually.
Yeah. It was a great time for him to win it right now, though.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think he definitely could have just gotten picked off right here and just, that's it.
It's a little refreshing, too, even, I don't know, and I don't even think he is jumping the gun, making any bad decisions with his nominations, but it's really refreshing to see someone not even really just know what they want to do, be locked in on their choices. We see Rachel trying to persuade him to put Lauren up and Ashley... And, the whole thing with Vince, seeing if they can get Morgan to use the veto on him instead. But, yeah, he's just like, no, I know I'm going to put up Mickey and Morgan and Vince.
Well, and this and today, too. I mean, I guess just this entire week, I'm going to renom Ashley, too. I mean, he pretended like he was going to put up Lauren, but it was always pretending. And, yeah, there's something interesting about this. I think that one thing I really don't like is when someone is playing for jury or second place when they have the opportunity to not do that. Because I think what that does is a lot of times stop people from being open to thinking about the game in a different way, right? If you have, if, I can't think of a great example, but if you know that you're going to lose no matter what, and so then instead of doing something that's risky and could put you in a better position where you might be able to win, you just do the thing that's staying loyal to your friends or whatever, and just have no chance of winning at all.
Right. It's do you know about the prisoner's dilemma or anything?
I feel like I've heard that term before.
It's the first chapter of game theory. If you ever watch a video essay or try to learn about anything like that, the first thing they go over is the prisoner's dilemma, and it's basically if you already know you're in a losing position, you don't have to just take the full loss. You can still try to weaken the other side, and you can maybe force a tie sort of scenario.
Right.
And yeah, even you could be playing for second place, and if you know that if you know that you're not going to win, at least play for second.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess a good example would be MJ last year, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't think
no, because she could have won easily if she had just taken Cam.
Yeah, right, and I guess that's the thing is I think that she thought she was going to win no matter what, right? So it wasn't necessarily she was choosing loyalty to Chelsea over that. But yeah, a situation in which someone is sitting there trying to decide, should I make a risky move? Yeah, that could do something, even though it probably won't lead to anything versus doing nothing. And I think that something along with this is players being stubborn in general. But I think it almost, in my opinion, works a little bit backwards, where I think being stubborn can be a bad thing. I think it can also be a really good thing. If you know what your nominations are before you win HOH, then you're not going to get manipulated unless someone brings up an actual good point, right? But if you're sitting there like Vince, you don't know what you're going to do until you're talking to people, that's when you're going to get manipulated. And then if once you have an idea in mind, you're not stubborn about that because you've decided that's what's good, you're going to get manipulated. And I think that being malleable is a good thing in the game because I think other people know that you're weak and they'll want to keep you there. But I think that when you're stubborn like this, it can scare people off because if you pick them, they're going up. But also, you end up in better positions because you don't take out your own allies.
Yeah, and this is where I think Rachel played her HOH very similarly, and Ava too even. And it's, yeah, 100%. It's going to make the rest of the house be like, okay, well, I know where you are, and if it's against me, then now you're the op. But it's, yeah, at least, I don't know. I think the worst thing you can do is win HOH when you don't have an idea of what you want to do. Because, yeah, you're going to be convinced to do something that does not benefit you. It benefits somebody else.
Or even if it's not, yeah, if winning HOH isn't directly going to benefit your game in a way that you can say, that's who I'm going to put up, or one of these people is going to go home, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that, because you're probably not going to send, that means that you don't have an enemy, and you don't, yeah, I think winning HOH is such a funny thing for me. Like, I think that was Vince's 2 biggest mistakes this season. Don't put yourself in power unless you need to. Do not make your target bigger unless you need to, right? Like Ashley, or well, like Will winning HOH or Kelly winning HOH, I don't think would help either of them right now. Lay low. Don't just make people forget that you're there, and you probably aren't going to get put up. Yeah, and I think, yeah, sorry, I forgot exactly how I started this. I started thinking about how dumb Vince's HOHs were. That's the shit that you don't do. Don't win HOH if you don't need to.
I don't even think his first one was like that bad. He came out of that week in a really good position, making some good like relationships and connections with people. This second one, I even understood the logic a little bit, because okay, maybe you just don't want Catherine to win it. I get that. But yeah, he just didn't know. He only won the HOH for safety. He didn't use it at all to reshape the house. He didn't do anything beneficial with his HOH besides just winning safety. And guess what? You had 3 chances for safety if you didn't win HOH. You could win veto, you could win blockbuster, you could just get the votes to stay, and you're up against someone like Mickey or Kelly or someone who's going home if you're sitting next to them. It probably was the better move to just throw that HOH last week for Vince.
Well, especially considering that. Okay, so now we know that Keanu would put Vince up, but that was also before. I don't know that if Keanu had won the wall.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad yet.
So then that means for like the last like 20 minutes that he's on the wall, he could have just fallen off then, and he would have been safe. If we're agreeing, or if we say that what Catherine said is true, she wouldn't have put him up, which I believe. I think she was way more pissed at Rachel, but maybe he was like the renom. I don't know, but point being, he could have fallen off the wall like 20 minutes before he did, and probably been in a better position now than if he'd won it. And so something else, we were talking about Lauren using the veto on Vince. And people have pointed out that is the start of a waterfall of things that led to her 2 closest allies going home. People who were who were providing her more protection than Vince was, in Kat and Riley.
Yeah.
Right? She used goes home. Vince is still in the game, wins HOH, puts up Kat, she goes home. Lauren is in, I mean, honestly, obviously not in a better position than she was, because she's not really looking like she can win it either at this point because of the numbers. But she is now the unequivocal center of that side of the house, so that's good for her, I guess.
No, because I think, yeah, the people who have the least chance of winning now, I think got to be Lauren and Kelly. Yeah. And, well, Vince, that goes without saying. Like, it's not even going to be mentioned, because, yeah, it goes so much without saying. But, yeah, Vince absolutely destroyed Lauren's position, did not do anything to help Kelly. This is the man you do not want to be aligned with.
Yeah, it's just too bad, because he has the potential. But also, I think that this is another thing, is that, like, if you're a good player, but there's another good player right next to you, and they're actually better than you, being Morgan, this is what happens. I mean, just looking at Morgan's trajectory of stuff, right? The first 2 weeks, she kind of, well, I might have to go back and rewatch week 2 and see how she was on Jimmy's HOH, because obviously she was right there locked in with Jimmy at that point. But then she convinces Lauren to put up, or she, along with like a couple of other people, convinced Lauren to put up Adrian instead of Will, and then she convinces Mickey to get Jimmy out, and then she convinces, and then she was just safe under Ava. Actually, that week kind of sucked for her. But then she stays against Riley. I don't know. Anyways, she's had a great game, and Vince got fucked over by her, and she's in a much better position than she was before Vince won HOH.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because she was on the block this week. But it's like the one, well, Lauren would put her up, and Kelly would put her up. So it's one of the 3 people who would put her up that won, and that's, everyone probably has someone like that.
Right, yeah. So much of the game is luck. It's about who wins HOH what week, and
especially now that's equitable comps. It's just like, okay, so it's not even like be cool with the bros. It's like just who knows? Who knows? Sometimes they're gonna pick Rachel to have an HOH, and you have no choice over that.
Yeah, I mean, with the worst outcomes, Rachel maybe even could go home next week. Mm-hmm. If like Lauren wins HOH, she puts up like Rachel and Ashley and Will or something, and say like Ashley wins Veto, Will wins Blockbuster, she ends up on the block next to like Ava or something. Rachel could go home next week, potentially, if the exact wrong things happen. So you never know. A lot of it does just come down to luck and competition wins.
And I do wonder, I completely believe that production will protect Rachel up to a point. I wonder if that point is jury.
It's jury, for sure.
Like, so, yeah, I wonder if she actually could, because I don't think that she could have gone home last week. I think that it still would have been better for Vince's game to put her up there, even if she doesn't go, because he wouldn't have lost everyone in the house. But yeah, that's interesting. Maybe she does. Especially, listen. So a couple of things to talk about when we go into jury. Apparently, we're still going to have 3 people going up on the block. Which,
wait, who said that?
That's it. So Julie has said that it's an all-season thing. She didn't say it stops at jury, and so people have just been theorizing it's going to continue on into jury. That's what I've heard, is that it's going to continue on. Not like confirmed by anyone. That's just what generally the consensus is online. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. I think.
Yeah.
But also, with the fact that they have to do the triple eviction and the double evictions, maybe it'll be cool. Maybe they'll do something like you put up 3 people and then there's no Blockbuster. You vote for who you're going to save and the other 2 go. Or
a Canadian triple.
Yeah. Like something like that could be cool. I don't know. This either could be the fucking best month of my life, or it's going to be like, I wish that they would have done some of these double deck in pre-jury and then this would have been longer.
Yeah, I don't know, and I've heard a lot of people say that you can't do doubles with the Blockbuster. I don't necessarily see why not. I think maybe just because it's only going to take up an extra like 5 minutes of the time. So I don't think it's completely unfeasible. I don't know why they really backloaded this last half of the season with all of the doubles and the I guess a triple. Yeah, there's only 4 weeks left after this, and they're going to be at 10 people or 9 people.
And they added an extra house guest in. I mean, it's just, I don't understand why they did that. To be honest, it's fine. It's just
dude,
like, what?
I swear to God, if they're transitioning to a final 3, I'm not going to be too happy.
Yeah, I to be honest with you, I don't think that the 3 noms is going to continue on last season. I think like I've started to see more and more people be negative about it, and not a ton of people like continuing to wax lyrical about it. Maybe they will, but I think like it wasn't as big of a hit this season as it was last season, and especially if they don't cut it off going into jury, I think that it's going to start rubbing people more and more the wrong way. And well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I will like. There's interesting parts about it for sure. It keeps the week. I mean, the feeds have been incredibly interesting this season, and maybe it's because of that. I think strategy-wise, and maybe people just need to figure out the new meta. I don't think strategy-wise this season has been as interesting as last season was, or the other seasons where like there's a confirmed meta of having these alliances that work. This season's like they just don't know what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be better once it's been played enough times that people kind of have an idea of how to play it. But
right, I think if anything, that is something in its benefit, I would say, versus you compare it to like Battle of the Block, where that was figured out immediately. In the first season, it was figured out the best way to game that, and the new meta was developed around it. And then they did it again the season after that, and it just reinforced. It was like, okay, this has already been played out as far as it can go.
Right.
Maybe we just get rid of this one. And the fact that it's already been 2 seasons, and there hasn't been this clear meta, this way to just game the Blockbuster, maybe it will stick around longer so that they can give people the chance to do that. I do think it fundamentally changes the game, and I'm not super... I liked it before. I don't think it really needed anything added to it, I don't think. If anything, it kind of needed something to be added in the back half of the season, where it can get a lot more boring and a lot more straightforward. But if they're getting rid of the Blockbuster at jury, then they're kind of losing on both ends.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if I want the blockbuster to continue through jury because I like the game when there are 2 nominees.
Yeah, and like the strategic conversations that come out of that, I think the 3 people, it's interesting because they can never decide, but because of that, they never actually say anything that matters to each other, you know? And we'll see. I do think it's been an okay twist. It brings want to continue. If it does, I'm not like heartbroken about it. I guess people haven't broken it because I don't really know if there is a way to break it, but it itself breaks the most exciting part of the game, which is backdooring someone. Keanu has 2 chances to win a competition to stay every single week, right? Which just means that it makes comps so much more important than they ever could, because you can't backdoor someone. You always have a competition against only 2 other people to win also, so it's even easier than the HOH comps are.
What do you think? Do you think it would be good if they did like a like the blockbuster only happens on certain weeks, and maybe it's like a power or something, or maybe it's like predetermined, but there's not a blockbuster every week, and you don't really know that there's going to be a blockbuster until like maybe like the veto ceremony, and like if there's only 2 people up and like someone like reveals their power and like you have to put up a 3rd person and we're doing a blockbuster this week, or it's like a mastermind twist and it's like midway through the week you have to put up another person.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind that at all. One of my biggest problems is that 3 people means that you're nominating 4 people every week because the veto is always used nowadays. Which is just too large of a percentage of the House, I think. It makes it where people are sending their allies home because you can't like be strategically sound. I think. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think that I've seen people make the argument that it's important to make HOH harder and to have more repercussions. Because it is such an overpowered position to have in the House if you do it right. The thing is, I don't think we necessarily need to make HOH have more repercussions because the overwhelming majority of people who win it don't use it right, and they make it hard enough for themselves on their own. I agree. I think putting up 4 people in the House is kind of ridiculous. It's ridiculous in week 1 when it's like a quarter of the House. It's ridiculous this week where 4 people is like almost half of the House.
And the other thing is that I think, like, if they had the blockbuster as like there are 2 people on the block, and then on eviction night they go and play a thing, and whoever wins that comes off, and then maybe they can renom or
like a last second renom.
Yeah, or so, I don't know. I could see something like that going on, or like they play a competition, and if either of them get the prize, but it's not like guaranteed that they'd get the prize or something. I could see that. I think like the thing is with the 3 people on the block, which is what all the guys who are 100% feed watchers, what they're saying is like, oh, it's interesting because like with 23 we'd know who was going home by Thursday or by Sunday.
Yeah.
So I get that. I think that by people sitting there, I don't know, people talking about nothing is not more valuable than people talking for a shorter amount of time about something that matters, in my opinion. Where was I going with this? I was going to say, I don't know.
You fool.
There it goes.
You lost it.
Yeah. Well, you got anything else to add?
No, I think we've done a pretty good job.
Cool. Alrighty, well, we don't have any social media yet, so follow us on the places that you're watching us right now. Either on Twitch, on YouTube, Enormous Sibling.
Enormous Sibling.
Enormous.
Podcast.